Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today for Core Yoga. I'm with UMBC Recreation. My name is Erica. If you are new to this class or you've never taken a yoga class before, it's structured much like other exercise classes. We start with the slow warm-up. Then we get into the bulk of our practice where we're picking up our heart rate. We're really starting to work on the core, maybe building up some body heat, and then we slow down our movement, slow down our breath. We end in a final resting period on our back in stillness where we rest for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'd say that's the biggest difference from other exercise classes. We give that time to absorb the benefits of the class. It's sort of a reflection period. Yoga isn't just about the physical body, it's about what's going on in the inside as well. With that being said, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. This class can be kind of hard, so take breaks if you need to take breaks. If something doesn't feel right in your body, you can skip it. Practice for your body and nobody else's, and always make sure to check with a doctor before you start a new exercise regimen. This week we're going to get started on our back as well, my favorite way to start. So you'll place your feet on the mat. Feet are towards the front of your mat, and then you're going to roll down until you're flat on your back. You can let the knees fall together so they're supporting one another. We'll start with one hand on our chest and one hand on our belly. Let the elbows fall down towards the floor so the arms can relax. And deepen your breath. Just starting with some breath work here. Bringing awareness to our body. I promise we'll get enough core work in. Take this moment to just be with you. Feeling the rate of your heartbeat. Following the rise and fall of your chest. Give me a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through nose, out through mouth. Breath in and breath out. Straighten your legs onto the mat. Place your arms out by your sides. Draw your right knee in towards your chest, flexing the foot, thigh close to body. Interlace the fingers and grab a hold below the knee, pulling that thigh as close as the body as you can. If that feels uncomfortable on your knee, you can hold on to the back of the thigh instead. Either way, you're getting a nice stretch for the low back. We'll hold for a few breaths here. Both feet are flexed. Low back is relaxed onto the mat. Now draw this knee out towards your right armpit, opening up the hip just a little bit here. And release, returning leg to the mat. Left knee draws in towards the chest, feet are flexed. You're going to hold on below the knee or on the back of the thigh, pulling that leg nice and close to the chest. Deepening the breath. Now draw the knee out towards the left armpit, opening up the hip a little bit. And release, returning leg to the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest, again holding on below the knees or on the back of the thighs. Keeping the knees drawn in towards the chest, release your arms down to the floor, out at shoulder height, palms face up. Just a few inches, we'll let the knees fall to the right side of the mat. We'll pause, drawing the belly in, activating our core, and then drawing the knees back to the center of the chest. So for this exercise, less is more. You want to be careful not to disturb your low back. So just a few inches will do. You find the hold, draw the core in, and you'll feel that engagement. It would be doing enough. So let the knees just fall a few inches to the left. It's like I feel the work here. I'm going to hold and pause, squeeze the core, draw the knees back to the center of the chest. Don't hold the breath here as the knees fall over to the right. Find the hold. Back to center, over to left. Holding here. Breathing. Knees come back to center. So we're warming up our core. Let's do that again. Over to the right. Find the hold. Back to center. Over to left. Find the hold. And back to center. Place your feet on the mat. Separate the feet so they're about hips width distance apart. Lower your arms down the sides of your body, palms face down. If you can't touch the back of your heels with your fingertips, walk the feet in a little closer. Bend the elbows so fingertips face up towards the ceiling. Pressing into the arms as well as the feet, we'll lift the hips up towards the ceiling, lifting chin from chest, keeping knees in line with the ankles. We're holding here, stretching the front side of the body, opening the chest, strengthening the legs. Let the knees or the hips come back down to the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest. Find that squeeze one more time, feet side by side. Holding for a few breaths here. Place the hands on the back sides of the thighs if they're not there already. Start to rock forwards and backwards so you can gain some momentum and rock yourself up into a seated position. Come right into tabletop on our hands and our knees, wrist under shoulders and knees stacked underneath the hips. Turn your fingertips out to face the long edges of the mat and we'll gently rock side to side. Loosening up the wrist here. We do a lot of planks in this class. Just find that sway side to side. Now turn the fingertips so they're facing towards the body. If that feels like a lot of pressure, if you walk the knees in, you'll find a bit of ease. And we're just going to hold here, pressing the palms firmly into the mat. Pressing out through the fingers. Now turn the fingertips forward. If you walk the knees in, step them back so they're in line with the hips. We'll lean forward so shoulders are past the wrist, and then we'll come back. Taking that a few times back and forth. And find stillness in tabletop. Lift up to the tips of the fingers, round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest. Then lift and arch the spine into cow, gazing up to ceiling. We'll take this a few times, rounding the spine, chin to chest. Then lifting and arching, gazing up to ceiling. One more time, rounding the spine, lifting and arching, and settling back to tabletop with a flat back. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, keeping heel in line with hip. Give me a crunch, drawing the right knee in towards the chest, rounding the spine, lifting the knee up as high as you can, drawing the belly in. Extend the leg behind you once again. We'll take that one more time. Knee to chest for the crunch, tabletop crunches. Pull that knee up nice and high, draw the belly in, don't hold the breath. This time we'll step the foot through into a lunge position. If you can't do that hands-free, grab your foot and place it into alignment, ankle below knee. Slowly draw the breath in through your nose as you lift both arms overhead, holding the arms up and exhaling here. Reaching tall towards the ceiling, keeping belly active, relaxing shoulders down the back. Pressing down through the left knee, getting the length on the front side of the thigh. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale out through the mouth, bring fingertips down to floor. Extend the right leg long behind you, keeping the leg active with the toes pointed. Then return to tabletop, knee to mat. Left leg extends, heel in line with hip. Give me one crunch on this side, drawing knee to chest, rounding the spine, pull the belly in, lift the knee high, and extend the leg behind you. Exhale as you find the crunch, drawing the belly in, lifting knee high, rounding the spine, and stepping the foot into a lunge position. Place it there if you need to. Draw the breath in through the nose, lifting both arms overhead. We'll exhale and hold the pose here. Find that length on the front side of the right thigh, the sides of the body, and out through the crown of the head. Relaxing shoulders away from ears. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth, bringing fingertips to floor. Extend the left leg long behind you. Point through those toes and return to tabletop. Bring elbows down to mat, stacked under the shoulders, palms face down into puppy pose. Let the head hang heavy. Here's option 1 for your rest period throughout the class today. In both positions, you're getting a nice long spine. Option 2 is to find child's pose, sending hips all the way to the heels, resting forehead to mat. If that's uncomfortable on your hips or knees for any reason, return to the previous pose, puppy. Either or will work as a rest period. You're more than welcome to take either of these poses anytime during the class. You do not have to wait for me to cue it. We'll finish our warm up here in our rest position, taking a moment of stillness, bringing our attention back to our breath. Enjoying these few moments of stillness before we pick up their pace, really start working on our core. Slowly return to your tabletop position. Lift up to the tips of your fingers. Extend your left leg behind you, point through the toes. Draw knee into chest for tabletop crunch. Lift the knee nice and high and step it or place into a lunge position. Tuck the right toes onto the mat. Lift the right knee in the air as you lift up to pointer and middle finger, sending chest forward and drawing belly in. Step up to half lift, right foot steps up to the top of the mat. Flatten your back till it's parallel with floor, hands to shins. Gaze is down towards the mat. Lower to fold, bending the knees, dropping belly to thigh. That's key here. Belly needs to make contact with thighs. Let your arms and head hang heavy towards the floor. Legs are still nice and active. Low belly is drawing in. If you notice your back is rounded and your belly is very far from the thighs, bend the knees a little more, send those ribs down. One vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spines up to a standing position. Nice and slow, let your chin come up from your chest, very last. Once you're standing tall at the top of your mat, give me a deep breath in through your nose, lifting arms out at your sides, bringing them up overhead. Exhaling out through the mouth, bringing hands together and down through heart center. So now we're going to move into our sequence where we're going to pick up our pace as I promised. So I'm going to start by demonstrating our plank sequence for the week. Every week there's a new sequence where we target our core. So I'll demo the first time through and then we'll take it together, tying it into the practice. So we'll start in a plank position, traditional plank, fingers spread nice and wide, wrist stacked under shoulders. If you take a look back at your alignment, your heels should be in line with your hips, in line with your shoulders. Even if you've done plank 1,000 times, just give it a quick look. You might notice your hips are sitting a little too high or a little too low. Whole body's turned on, so my thighs are turned on, my glutes, my cores. I'm broadening my shoulders across the back side of my body, so whole body is on and alert. We'll start here. I always give a countdown, letting you know our plank sequence coming up in 3, 2, 1. Today we're going to draw one knee at a time into our chest. So I'll start with my right. Knee in, we'll twist to the opposite side, come back, step the foot back. Back stays nice and flat. Opposite knee in, twist, step back. We want to have a nice pace, so let me do this in real time so you guys can get a feel. Knee in, find the twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. That's one. We'll do that 2 times. After the second, we'll lower to forearm plank. We'll hold here for 5 seconds. Same thing with alignment. Heel in line with hips, in line with shoulders. We'll release to the ground and we'll carry on from there. If plank gets uncomfortable for your wrist, you can take plank on fist. At any time, remember, you can take a break. You can skip any of those repetitions if you feel the need to. So we're going to start at the top of our mat with our feet hips width distance apart. Stand nice and tall with purpose. So root down through your feet, stretch out tall through the crown of your head. Slowly lift the arms overhead up towards the ceiling. Gaze is up towards the hands. Lower to forward fold, bending the knees, dropping your belly to your thighs, arms and head hang heavy. Rise to half lift, flattening your back. Step back into a plank position, and we'll start our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, here's 2. Step back, knee in, twist, step back. Lower to forearm plank and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release to the mat, tops of feet to mat, hands under shoulders, elbows up towards the ceiling. Lift the chest off the mat into baby cobra. Don't press into your hands, and then press to your rest position, either taking puppy or child's pose. Taking a breath or two here. Bring your attention back to your breath and the beat of your heart. Is it any different than how you started the class? Doesn't have to be, just take note. Find your tabletop position on your hands and your knees. Lift up to the tips of your fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Give me a tabletop crunch. Knee to chest, round the spine, lift that knee high, step the foot into lunge. Left toes tuck onto the mat, knee lifts into the air, lifting up to pointer and middle finger. Step up to half lift, flattening the back, feet together. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. Slowly rise back to a standing position. Chin comes up from the chest last. 2 more times through, lifting the arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. Lower to fold, belly meets the thighs. Rise, half lift, flattening the back, draw shoulders away from ears. Step back into a plank position, and we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Last time. Knee in, step back. Forearm plank for 5. Hold it here. Don't hold your breath. And release. Hands under shoulders, tops of feet to mat. Lifting the chest to baby cobra and pressing to our rest position, puppy or child's. Attention comes back to the breath here. Slowly find your tabletop, lift up to the tips of your fingers. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through your toes. Give me a tabletop crunch and step through into lunge. Step up to half lift. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. Slowly rise to standing. 1 more time through. Let's tie it in with our breath this time. Inhale to lift the arms overhead. Exhale out the mouth to find your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as you step back into plank and resume your normal breath here. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Number 2. Step back, step back. Meet me in forearm plank. We're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Hands under shoulders. Inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra. Exhale to your rest position. We're going to shorten this break to keep our heart rate up, so rise right back to tabletop. Lift up to the tips of your fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Give me a crunch into lunge, stepping the foot in between the hands. Then step up to half lift. Flatten the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And rise up nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Once you're up to standing, bring your left arm up to the ceiling, reach through the tips of the fingers, press firmly into your left foot. Find a slight side bend over to the right, lifting chin from chest, keeping core active. Right hand should not support you. Instead, your core is holding you up. We're gonna hold here, don't hold the breath. Keep the left ribs reaching high towards the ceiling, and we'll roll down into our forward fold, bringing belly back to thighs. Rise, half lift. Step your right foot, step back into a plank position, and lower the knees to tabletop. Lift up to the tips of the fingers. If you would like to kick your tabletop crunches up a notch, make them a little more difficult, try with the hands flat instead. Extend the left leg behind you. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, round that spine, and step the foot into lunge. If you're not already on the tips of the fingers, lift up now, lift the right knee into the air. Bring your hands to your thighs, lifting your chest upright, extending your arms overhead. Left knee is stacked right over the ankle, and we're on the ball of the right foot. We're finding length out through the sides of the body, out through the crown of the head, shoulders relax away from ears. Take a deep breath or two into your chest, in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more time, in through nose, out through mouth. Open to 5-pointed star, facing to turn the right side of your mat. Feet come flat to floor, arms lower to shoulder height. Feet are facing forward. Just the left foot's gonna turn to face the front of the mat, and we'll bend the knee into warrior two, stacking it right over the ankle. If you don't feel enough of an opening in your hips, you can widen your stance. Keep pressing firmly into the pinky edge of your right foot, Pressing into all four corners of the left foot, inner and outer heel, inner and outer ball. Lift your left arm to reverse warrior, up towards the ceiling. Straighten the forward leg. Again, right arm is not holding you up. Instead, your core is here. Core is pulling in towards the spine. We'll bend the knee back to warrior two, stacking over the ankle. Inhale to reverse warrior. Left arm comes up. We straighten the leg. Turn on that core. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Breath in, arm up, leg straightens. Exhale, knee bends, arms to shoulder height. Windmill the arms down to lunge, so hands come to frame the foot, and I lift my right heel off the mat. Step back to plank, and we'll take our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Number 2, find the twist, step back, knee in and twist, step back, forearm plank, and we hold for 5. Deepen your breath. And release, belly to mat and hands under shoulders. Inhale, lifting the chest to baby cobra, and exhale to your rest position, puppy or child. Taking a moment here to deepen your breath and give the body a little bit of rest. Slowly return to tabletop, preparing for tabletop crunches. Extending the right leg behind you, lifting up to the tips of the fingers if you like. Knee into chest, round the spine, step the foot into lunge. Lift the left knee off the mat and step up to half lift. Lower to fold, belly meets thighs. We'll slowly round the spine up to a standing position. Once you're all the way up, bring your right arm up to ceiling, reach through the tips of the fingers, press firmly down into the right foot, and find a side bend over to the left. Holding here, belly's nice and active. Don't use that left hand to support you. Roll down to forward fold, belly comes down to thighs. Rise to half lift, flatten your back. Step into plank and lower the knees to tabletop. Preparing for a tabletop crunch. Right leg extends behind you, knee to chest, and step into lunge. Left knee lifts off the mat. We'll bring hands to thighs and extend arms overhead. Anjaneyasana. Right knee over ankle on ball of left foot. Deep breath in through nose, out through mouth. In through nose, out through mouth. Opening to 5-pointed star, facing the left, feet flat and arms at shoulder height. Right foot turns to face the front of the mat, bending the knee into warrior two, holding here. If you needed to widen your stance on the opposite side, do the same here. Hips and shoulders are facing the long edge of the mat. Inhale to reverse warrior, right arm up, leg straightens, turn on that core. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Last time, deep breath in. Slow breath out. Windmill the arms down to lunge. Step back into plank. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Last time. Find the twist, step back, knee in, step back. Forearm plank, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Inhale to baby cobra and exhale to your rest position. Taking a moment of stillness here. Again, deepening the breath, bringing focus back to the beat of the heart. Is it now any different than when you started class? Slowly rise to tabletop. Extending your left leg behind you for a tabletop crunch. Knee to chest, step the foot into lunge. Slowly step up to half lift, flattening the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. Nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. We'll find our way back to standing. Bring your hands together at heart center. Step your right foot behind you so you're on the tippy toe of the right foot. Hinge forward from the hips until the chest is about parallel to the floor. Put a tiny micro bend in the left leg, so we're not locking that joint out, turning on that thigh muscle. We're gonna work here for warrior three. Try lifting the right toes off the mat, keeping foot flex, lifting heel in line with the hip. If you can hold nice and steady here, that's great. Keep that core active. Don't hold the breath. If you're struggling, just lower the toes down to the mat and keep lifting them up and lowering them down. I'll let you know when it's time to stop. If you're holding nice and steady, just keep breathing. If you fall out of the pose, just join us again. Not only are we strengthening our core, but we're really strengthening that standing leg and our glute. Everyone lower the right toes down to the mat. Slowly lift the chest upright. And step the right foot back to the top of the mat. Same thing for the left. We'll step the left toes behind us on the tippy toes. Hinge forward at the hips, chest parallel to floor, tiny micro bend in the right leg. We're either lifting and lowering the left toes, or we're holding them nice and steady, heel in line with hip. Strengthening our low backs, course, we're strengthening our balance. Just breathe through the stretch. Left toes come down to the mat. We'll slowly rise up to standing and step our feet together at the top of our mat. Lower your hands down by your sides. Give me a deep breath in through the nose as we lift arms out at our sides and overhead. Exhale out through the mouth, bringing arms back down to our sides. Again, deep breath in through the nose, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Last time, breath in. And exhale to forward fold, belly comes down to thighs. We're gonna hang out in forward fold for a little bit here to make sure our low backs are nice and protected. We'll talk about those bent knees again. Belly needs to be nice and close to thighs. We're shifting the weight into the balls of the feet, keeping our heels on the floor. Our hips are reaching tall towards the ceiling. Our low belly's drawing in. Really lengthening our spines here. Maybe find a gentle sway side to side. Maybe close the eyes for a moment or two. Slowly rise to half lift, flattening the back. Step into our last plank of the class, and we'll start our last set of plank work in 3, 2, 1. Knee in, twist, step back. Knee in, twist, step back. Last time, find the twist. Step back, knee in, step back. Lower to forearm plank. Our last one we're gonna hold for 15 seconds. You're more than welcome to lower onto your belly early if you're already tired. I've already started counting. We're pretty much almost done. If you're still holding on with me, we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. All the way down to the mat, flatten on our bellies. Turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. Bring your arms along the sides of your body, palms face up. Let the big toes touch, but the heels fall out. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale out the mouth, relax onto your mat. Let everything go. Close the eyes for the next few moments. And just focus on the self. Wiggle the shoulders away from the ears. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side, taking a moment of stillness on the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and press one last time into your rest position. If you're in child's, we'll take a rounded variation, arms along the sides of the body, palms face up, shoulders melting down to the floor. Slowly make your way to a seated position, sitting in the center of your mat. Legs out down the length of the mat with feet flexed. Chin drops to the chest. Hands are at the knees and elbows point out to either side of the long edges of your mat. We're going to slowly start to round our spine. Relaxing shoulders away from the ears. And take a few breaths here. Really try to deepen the breath here and draw your breath to the space you feel the most sensation, sort of urging those muscles to relax, letting them know it's okay to release the tension they're holding now. And we'll take a few more moments here. Slowly start to straighten the spine into staff pose, placing hands on either sides of your hips, finding length up towards the ceiling, then relaxing back into a neutral spine. If you're not already sitting in the center of your mat, make your way there now. Bend your knees so your feet are on the mat. Hold on to the back side of your thighs and we'll roll down until we're nice and flat on our back. Arms along the sides of the body, palms face down, feet or hips width distance apart. If you can't touch the back of your heels, walk the feet in. So we're going to move into another bridge pose. If you're a little pooped and you'd like to take it easy, I want you to bend the elbows, fingertips up towards the ceiling. If this pose felt hard for you at the beginning of the class, I want you to take this position again. If you'd like to make this pose a little more difficult, you're going to keep your hands flat towards the floor, palms face down. Whichever position you're in, pressing into your arms and your feet, you'll lift the hips up towards the ceiling, lifting chin from chest. If your arms are straight, make sure you're still pressing into the arms. Don't forget about them. We're holding here. We're not holding our breath. We'll slowly let the hips come back down to the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest. Give them a squeeze, holding below the knees or on the back side of the thighs. We'll hold for a few breaths here. Maybe close the eyes as we're moving into stillness. Keep the knees drawn into the chest, but release your arms to the floor at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall to the right into reclined spinal twist, and gently turn your head to the left. If you need a little ease in this twist, lower the knees down towards the front of the mat, away from the face. The eyes haven't closed yet. I ask you to close them now. This is our last pose before our final resting pose. Start to deepen the breath a little bit. And relax the muscles around the face. Slowly draw the knees back to center. Let them fall over to the left and turn your head to the right. Draw the knees back to center. We'll wrap our arms around the legs one last time, pulling them close to the body. Lift your head to meet your knees. Take a nice deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Squeeze everything nice and tight. Nice tiny little ball. We're holding here. And as we exhale out the mouth, we'll lay flat on the mat, spreading our arms and legs nice and wide, taking up as much space as we can. Let the toes fall out. Palms face up, and eyes are closed. We'll Settle in here for our final rest period, our time for reflection. Just let the thoughts come freely. Try not to hold on to any one thought. Let them pass and go. Refrain from labeling them as good or bad. Just let them exist. And as you're letting those thoughts flow freely, I want you to keep your focus on your breath, following every rise and fall of your chest, knowing that with each exhale, your body relaxes onto your mat just a little more. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing movement back to your body. Now slowly roll over to the right side of your body and take a moment of stillness on your side, keeping your eyes closed. Maybe using your arm to support your head and your neck. Keeping the eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into any comfortable seated position. As always, to finish class, we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together as one, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to take a 3-part breath this week, breaking up the inhale to 3 parts, filling belly, ribs, and chest, breaking up the exhale into 3 parts, exhaling from chest, ribs, and belly. Let's all start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have out of the body. Start to inhale through the nose, filling belly first, then the ribs, filling up the chest, exhaling from mouth, out the chest, out the ribs, and out the belly. Inhale to belly, ribs, chest, exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Making this your deepest breath yet as you fill up the belly, fill up the ribs, fill up the chest. Exhaling from chest, from ribs, from belly. Thank you for letting me lead you on this practice, and please give thanks to your own body for getting you through this practice today. There is a light within me that honors the light that exists within each and every one of you. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the class. This feels like it was a little bit of a hard one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this class, please come back every Monday at 8 a.m. There is a new version of this class that is released. If you're looking for something a little easier on the body, I teach Vinyasa Yoga, which is released every Monday at 8 a.m. Give UMBC a follow on Instagram, on YouTube. Keep up with our content, and I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks so much.